What are the differences and similarities between Bangkok, New York City, and Hong Kong? Today I'm joined with my New York actor friend Matt Ler,
who saw you at the scene of the crime with the murder weapon. I hold all the cards.
It's bad?
No, to have a steady job.
You spent a lot of time in all three places.
Yes.
I spent a lot of time in all three places. Let's just get into it, man. Point number one, public transit. How do you compare the BTS SkyTrain with the MTA in New York, the most ratchet one ever, and then the MTR in Hong Kong?
Well, in the Ratchet Awards, there's only New York and Bangkok compete in general. But I think Hong Kong's a clear 1A. They're S tier, right? Like there's hardly anywhere in the world that's better subway. They say that if you don't see the next train coming into the station, it's already late. So that's how frequently they run. It's the cleanest. They all have the glass doors.
So you're giving the MTR in Hong Kong S tier?
Yes.
All right, but I would say New York City gets S tier in terms of character.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get something for social media every single time you're
Somebody peeing on the train, dancing on the train.
Yeah, showtime.
You're gonna see a guy hit on a girl on the train. You might even see somebody smoking crack on the train. Like, I've seen videos of everything, and in person, I've seen, obviously people sleeping on the train. The New York subway system, the MTA, is probably famous for just like literally being like another planet.
Right. The Instagram account Subway Creatures has all that content.
Right.
Yeah.
What is your favorite ratchet thing that you see in the New York City subway?
I'm gonna ask you first while I think of all the things that I'm thinking about.
I would say the kids selling candy, the churro lady. To be honest, I'm not eating those churros. Way too stale. I would say the Bangkok BTS, really, I've never seen almost anything ratchet.
No, but the understanding is that BTS and MRT in Bangkok, it's kind of like a rich person's mode of transportation, right? They're not taking the ferry, they're not taking those non-air conditioned buses, right?
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree that that's true, that it occupies a different place in the societal structure.
Right. So subway is not considered a glamorous way to travel in New York, but it is in Bangkok.
Right. I don't see, like, the New York subway is so crazy, guys, and I don't want to make this whole video about New York because people subway surf on top, and that's really dangerous for the kids right now. And then people, obviously, I don't even want to get into that, like push people in front of the train to like murder them.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's not for crime. Yeah.
It's just crazy, man. Listen, all right, density.
Yeah.
I would say the New York City has a mixed population density.
Right.
Hong Kong is the most crammed of the three places. And Bangkok is generally, for a major megacity, way more spread out. However, certain districts can feel like Hong Kong.
Right.
Selectively.
I think just the sheer amount of people, you'll get that sort of energy in New York and Hong Kong that you won't get in Bangkok. You might feel the density with motorcycles and traffic here, but it's not going to be walking on the street as much. The density also is kind of what I think makes Hong Kong the beauty of it, right? Everything seems like it's not more than 15 minutes away.
Right.
But, some parts of Manhattan are like that, but Bangkok, everything it seems like it's 30 minutes away.
And you know what's interesting is the main difference is Hong Kong and New York City real estate is sky high. But Bangkok real estate, obviously comparatively for a megacity, much cheaper. Like you can rent something here for $1,000 US that would cost $5,000 in New York or Hong Kong.
Yeah, there's no question about value in Bangkok. Hong Kong does have a lot of great value, but not in the real estate.
Right, more like in what, like food or something like that?
It's good. Oh, transportation, I think is right. You're like, as far as transportation, the amount you pay for the quality of subway or even the public buses in Hong Kong and the tram, you're paying less than $1 and you're getting much better quality.
I was just in Hong Kong like 6 weeks ago though, and the food was starting to get up there.
Starting?
No, I'm saying the Hong Kong food was getting expensive.
The food.
Yeah. All right, we got to talk into this. Speaking of food, there is a lot of like Southern Chinese influence actually in Hong Kong, New York, and Bangkok.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I said basically what I'm saying is a very Southern Chinese food is like wonton noodles, egg noodles.
Yeah,
and you can get banh mi in Thailand. It's called bak mein or like wonton mein in Cantonese, and then it's just called like yellow noodles, I guess, in New York. I don't know. I guess they would just call them egg noodles. Right. So I guess what I'm saying is that is noteworthy. The three of the cities that are the most similar, Bangkok, New York, and Hong Kong, do have a lot of there's a lot of wonton noodles around.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always get in Chinatown, New York too, so.
Yeah, I mean, I just think like, that's almost something that always stood out to me, especially I guess with Bangkok, was the amount of like mixed Teochew and Cantonese influences and stuff like that. Point number 4, street markets. Would you say that New York is based around what, delis and bodegas? But then obviously there's a few taco trucks, hot dog trucks from the old school halal food.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the equivalent of street food for New York. Would you say like Dollar Pizza? Would you say like Popeyes? This is our version of it.
Oh, there's a ton of Popeyes in New York now, but that's a new thing. I guess Hong Kong doesn't really have as much street food as it used to.
Yeah, there's a couple places, but
it used to be like everywhere was like some sort of po or something like that, or like Dai Pai Dongs, but that's kind of all, I would say it's all going away.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to one in the Taikoo area, and that's the one area that you will not hear any English in Hong Kong, which is a very English-speaking place.
Right. Or maybe near the border as well, near the mainland China border.
Yeah.
New territories. I would say that Bangkok still has a ton of street food though. But I heard that even in Bangkok, it's starting to move towards moving to malls.
Yeah, I think
like I'm saying that the government had
one.
Yeah, like the government had an initiative to move all the street stalls off the street to make the sidewalks more.
Are you a fan of that?
Man, to be honest, I got to Bangkok once all that stuff had gone away, so it's hard to miss it. But you probably remember a time, you probably went to Bangkok when it was like the markets were out on the streets,
Yeah,
right?
so that's the one thing that Bangkok will give you that the other places won't. Like New York, if you consider hot dog carts street food or halal carts, like they have licenses and permits that they have to stay like separate, right? Bangkok, it just feels like you could just, I'm gonna just sell like oysters or pancakes or, Nutella roti on this territory, and I don't know who's in charge, if there's like organized crime that's involved with keeping it implied, but just like it's whoever gets there first could sell here, right?
Listen, guys, people are gonna roast me for this in the comment section. I've been doing food content for like 12 years on YouTube. I've been everywhere, a lot of places in the world. I'm going to the mall. If I go to Singapore, I'm gonna go to the hawker stalls that are in the mall over the regular hawker stalls. Yes, over the regular
running water.
In Bangkok, I might just go get the street foods at like in a mall.
Oh, so you're telling me you don't want to rough it anymore? What happened, man?
I think that in the mall, it's more the quality control is there.
Yeah.
I think the cleanliness is there, and actually, oftentimes, like you maybe load up a card and then it's all on like one payment card system, like 2021. I just think it's easier.
I met some Americans from Chicago, and they totally seems like you're Chad and Becky's, but they were roughing it out too. They were eating the what's that pork? Like the stewed pork overnight. They were eating like
in which city? Bangkok.
Chiang Mai.
Chiang Mai. Gang Hong Lei. Yeah. It's called Gang Hong Lei.
They're roughing it. They're roughing it.
Number 5. What do you think about the dating in the different cities? New York City. I mean, this could be like a whole video on its own, but what do you think about dating in New York versus Hong Kong versus Bangkok?
I'll make it really short. I mean, are you talking from like an Asian American guy lens, or just in general?
Yes, because that is really channel.
Honestly, people shit on New York a lot. I think it's pretty good for a guy. Like I don't know, everyone has a different experience. Maybe we're all seeing different profiles, but like New York has a lot more girls. There's a lot of variety. Maybe you will see a lot of the same girls, and they're all kind of well put together.
I'm gonna go Bangkok number 1 for an Asian American guy.
Yeah.
But for a guy in general, it could be New York, depending on how much money you have and how you look. And then Hong Kong at a far third. The number one and number 2 could be interchangeable depending on your own personal attributes.
Yeah.
Hong Kong by far in my opinion.
You know what's crazy? Hong Kong, I feel like I was putting like the wilt numbers are coming in for Hong Kong. Dude, I don't know. Is it the phenotype? I don't know.
It could be. It could be. You are an actor, but I'm just saying.
No, I just look very Cantonese, and like maybe sometimes
like a Canton Chad look. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
I'm not a big HK guy in terms of dating. I'm not saying that
Man,
we'll get into the story.
Maybe that's another video, but
this is quasi-related, right? Dating and nightlife. Number 6.
Yeah.
How you saying it? I'm saying this. New York City nightlife is super diverse. Hong Kong is all either Lang Kwai Fong or TST, depending if you're more local, you go to TST. If you're more international, you go to Lang Kwai Fong, right? And then I'm saying Bangkok is really just wild. The whole thing is wild.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing not wild about Bangkok's nightlife. Like it's wild through and through.
There's one thing that I think that makes New York City a little bit more wild than Bangkok. Bangkok, they have a lot of wild pockets, but you know, RCA, you know, the Fung Bros, Ikakamaya, and Nana, or whatever. But those are all kind of spread out. When you're in New York, if you're an Asian American guy, you go to K-Town, that's kind of all right there. My best friend who moved to LA for business school, the first thing he texted me was missing New York K-Town because, oh, we could have just gone out to Ichi or somewhere and we didn't have a plan. We just could have gone anywhere else and made it crazy.
I know what you're saying. The density of being able to walk and bounce around is completely different. Whereas in LA, like, you're just gonna get stuck at Mama Lion, because like, where are you gonna go? Mama Lion, Terracotta, like.
He says once you go to a place in LA, you're just
closes that too, it doesn't allow you to bounce around. I agree.
Yeah, especially if you have a lot of spontaneous friends, it's good to have that.
Number 7, cost of living. I'm gonna go New York, number 1, but it could be Hong Kong, right, 1B. And then I'm gonna go Bangkok, easily number 3 in terms of cost of living, or number 1 in the sense of like, Bangkok gives you the best bang for your buck compared to New York and Hong Kong.
Well, there's no question Bangkok will give you the best value because there's nothing, housing is always the biggest thing, and there's, I don't know how many hotels there are. There's just so much competition, so much real estate, and you'll just get all the amenities you could ever want for the fraction.
But to be fair, in Bangkok, there are things that are better deals than others, right? Like if we're talking about omakases, they're about only 20% cheaper. If you're talking about Thai food, it could be 80% cheaper. Beef, probably only 25% cheaper. Massages, 75% cheaper. Yeah. So it actually still goes, it's still lifestyle based to some extent.
Exactly, and I think you could almost make New York cheaper if you live somewhere deeper in Brooklyn or Queens, and then didn't really spend the same amount on your expenses, and you could cook more, right? But Hong Kong, sometimes you can't avoid the expensive nature of Hong Kong.
Okay, I can see what you're saying. Yeah. Basically, it depends, but long story short, that's it. It probably goes New York number 1 overall, Hong Kong, then 1A, 1B, and then Bangkok. Number 8, shopping. I think that New York probably has the best culture of shopping. I think Hong Kong has the most access for resellers as a global resale market, because you have China right there, you can buy in bulk, and Shenzhen and things like that. And then Bangkok has insane malls, but I think that foreign brands are the most marked up in Bangkok, in the sense that like Zara here is almost like double the price of New York Zara, or of course Spain Zara.
Yeah, that was very surprising to me. Something maybe I took for granted in New York, live in Chinatown, right? Soho's like 5 minutes walking. They have the best selection of clothes there, and they're actually much cheaper than Thailand too. That was a big surprise.
Right. If you want to get like your trendy New York brands, Ame, Kith, obviously you're gonna be super marked up in Thailand versus in New York. Even it's still expensive in New York. Number 9, what about the vibe and just the general energy? Like, I will say this, I think New York's vibe is always up, but right now, working class people in New York feel like they're getting pushed out. And a lot of local New Yorkers feel like the city's not for them anymore. There's a lot of Dubaiification, Londonification going on, in the sense that all the systems are catered to rich outside people coming in with big bankrolls.
So you're saying when a city gets successful, there's always a downside that people aren't really happy about. Like this, you know, big successful city, lower birth rates too, right? Gets so expensive that it's harder and harder for people to have kids.
Yeah, but I feel like the people who are in New York always love being there.
Yeah.
Whereas like whether you're poor, medium, or rich, you always love being in New York, but it's getting a little bit harder for different segments. I would say Hong Kong right now, would you agree with me, the vibe is kind of down.
I can't explain it. You made a video on like, is Hong Kong on its way out? And I almost wanted to search for answers there because I couldn't explain it either. But it's almost like you just have to be there. Like I've been to Hong Kong 7 times, and in the past it just felt like more cinematic, more like I have to tell my friends about the experience. It sounded like there was a little bit of spice missing this last visit.
Dude, even if we want to use like, was it Lulu Wang's like expats as a, first of all, I don't think Hollywood is a good proxy for anything, but like even expats was about the kid getting kidnapped in Leon Kai, like in Flower Street. You know what I mean? Like that was the whole premise of expats, is the hopper kid getting kidnapped and like killed or something like that. Whereas like, that was such like a dark premise for Hong Kong. Like old Hong Kong movies were like, you know what I mean? Like Gone are the Gamblers, the economy's booming in the 80s and 90s. Like we all getting money, but who got the most? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it goes to show you, even the expats was like kind of like had a cloud on it.
Yeah, I guess we need another Wong Kai Wok.
But I would say that Bangkok, the vibe is up right now.
Oh yeah, like it's stocks up. I mean, I don't think it's plateauing, you know, for any time super soon. But you could make an argument some parts of Thailand are a little bit getting stale.
Like maybe like Phuket or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Point number 10, man. How do you pick one, bro? Between NYC, Hong Kong, and Bangkok, what do you care about, man? Because I know you're a big foodie. You like fine dining. You like street dining. You like, I mean, everything that everybody else likes, right? Like you're not like a super fringe person or anything. It's the same things that I like. Like you like nice experiences, nice people, good food, good vibes. Like there's a reason why Bangkok, I guess for me, is the most visited place in the world right now, according to like 10 different charts.
Yeah.
Like people just, I feel like the vibe is up. It's accessible, the affordability. You get a lot of bang for your buck, especially coming from the Western world. So
Yeah,
that's my pick.
Yeah, when it comes to visiting, I would put Bangkok number one with the bullet. Hong Kong, I just feel like it's more of a place to live, make money, have a, you know, a convenient, predictable life that's going to be, it almost just feels like everything's in the right place in Hong Kong for your routine.
Right.
But when it comes to Bangkok, big Bangkok is just excitement. I mean, I'll quote my friend Gus here, where he was in Singapore. He moved from there from New York, and he found out I was going to Bangkok. I'm like, you gonna join me? He's like, well, you know I can never say no to a weekend in Bangkok. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? He's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like maybe for you guys like a weekend in Miami, but on steroids, maybe a little Vegas in there. But he's like, yeah, I'm the expert in Bangkok. He's been there like 6 times. Now I understand why he keeps going back.
Right.
There's just something for everyone.
Yeah, I would describe like a golden era of Vegas, maybe like 10, 15 years ago from like LA, SoCal Asians. Absolutely. I knew a guy who went like 4 times in 1 week.
Oh, you think 15 years ago was the golden era of Vegas?
This is like Vegas, honestly, I'll say this. Shout out to Vegas. If you guys got any more brand deals for us, it's not the spot anymore, in my opinion. There's definitely no bang for your buck in Vegas. I guess, which one are you rolling with right now? Because I know you're going back to New York to continue your acting career. So I guess you're just splitting time.
Yeah, I'm rolling with New York, but I'm a free agent in my mind. Like this is just the president here.
Like if the Bangkok movie industry wants to hit you up, you're like, yeah, I'm available.
Well, I'm not even sure what. I mean, it's whether it's, you know, entertainment or acting or it's something else. Like I'm still, you know, I like to be involved with things. Corporate is still important. Like the jobs is important. Like New York has all the jobs. Bangkok, what I found out is so many jobs are based off tourism here. And one
super hospitality centric.
Right. And I would like to see Bangkok diversify for the good of the Thai people and for just people in general. Because there's so many people that just move here for work, for hospitality, serving the people who are visiting here. It almost just needs that balance that I think New York has, because New York seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, New York seems like kind of this like hot girl who has it all. And people come for visiting and the tourism, and they don't mind that tourism money, but they're still going on all its tech and finance and all these other industries that really pay the bills for the city.
Yeah, I would say, in my opinion, in New York, finance might make up like 40%, and the other 60% could go like 10% other industries.
Yeah,
like it's like 40% finance, 10, fashion, tech, marketing, global headquarters of whatever.
Everyone wants to have their headquarters in New York. And as much as, you know, us New Yorkers, we love to complain about New York, one thing that's really going to be hard to match is the well-roundedness of the city, and that there is kind of an industry and a place for everyone in that own sense. Maybe, yeah, we'll complain about the cost of living, but as far as versatility, it's really an unmatched city.
For sure. I mean, dude, all the heads of industries. I mean, New York kind of calls itself the capital of the world for a reason. But that doesn't mean, depending on your circumstances, you know, everything is like atomized and individualized nowadays, guys. So make sure, if you guys want to come to Bangkok, I got a really cool, you know, Tiger Club camp coming up soon. That's going to be on this website. Link that in the section below. Follow Matt. That's just a quick comparison of 3 guys who spent a lot of time in New York, a lot of time in Hong Kong, and a lot of time in Bangkok. What do you guys think are the pros and cons, and I guess what are the caveats of what we just said?
I mean, I want to know what you think. In the past video, you said what's the Ekama you're living in is the kettlebell of Bangkok. So what's the bench press neighborhood of Bangkok then?
The bench press neighborhood would probably be like
Because you said Ekamai's like got everything. It's like a semi.
I don't know, probably like Plo and Cheat or like Chitlum or something. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of like what the bench press would be. Prom pong, I don't know. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of this video comparing Bangkok, New York City, and Hong Kong in the comments section below. Check out Matt's stuff again. When's your new movie coming out?
Yeah, 4. It's March 9th at Southwest by Southwest. New premiere. And, you know, depending on what the investors see, what they like, they will decide what kind of distribution they'll have. So maybe coming to streaming or here's near you. We'll see.
All right, man. Appreciate you. But you guys, until next time, man, we out. Peace.